Welcome to the session on operations management. In last class, we discussed on aggregate planning, the technique used in aggregate planning to take proper decisions. We discussed on informal technique use and mathematical technique use, the various methods of mathematical technique use, which are used to take decisions to meet the demands through aggregate planning. Okay, today we will discuss on some of the numericals, means the problems on transportation model and the numericals on strategies used in aggregate planning to take proper decisions. I will go through the problem. The first problem is a tight tube manufacturing company has the following supply capacity and demand and inventory pattern shown in the table. A data related to a tight tube manufacturing company is given and it is having the supply capacities, that means the capacity of the company is given. For the period 1, it can produce in terms of units he has given. Okay, it can by using its regular time in the period 1 it can produce 60 units. By using overtime it can produce 18 units, and through subcontract, means giving contracting to the other companies, it can produce 1000 capacities, 1000 units, and the demands for the first period is 100. Similarly, he has given for second period, third period, fourth period. In the second period, what he has given, by using its regular time hours, it can produce 50 units. By using its overtime duties, overtime hours, by taking overtime through employees, it can produce 15 units, and for subcontract it is same. It is same for all the 4 periods, means by giving subcontract to the other companies, it can produce 1000 units in all the 4 periods. And the demand for the second period is 50, third period is 70, and the fourth period is 80, where by using regular time it can produce 60 in the first period, 50 in the second period, 30 in 16, again 60 in the third period, and 65 units in the fourth period. Okay, and by using overtime the company can produce 18 units. It may be any product. He has given which is the product, he has not given what is the product. Okay, in the second period it is 15, in the third period it is 18, and for the fourth period it is 20. That means you are using its overtime duties. Okay, and inventory which is available at the initial is 20, means at the beginning of the first period is 20, and at the end of the fourth period is 25. Okay, we need to solve the problem in such a way that considering the inventory, that means the products available, already available in the warehouse or the start of the first period is 20, and at the end of the fourth period is 25. Okay, regular time cost per unit, means to produce one product in the regular time it costs around 100 rupees, of which 50% is the labor cost. To produce one unit of any product, the product is not given here. To produce one product it costs 100 rupees during regular time hours, out of which 50% of the cost is labor cost. And by utilizing its overtime, if they produce one unit, it costs around rupees 125 for a very one product that they manufacture during OT hours. And if they had given the subcontracting to produce any units, any number of units, it costs rupees 130 for them. And inventory carrying cost per unit per period is rupees 2. For example, if they produced more than the required number of products in the period 1, and if they stored that product up to the period 2, it costs rupees 2 per unit and per period. This is what he has given in the problem, and we need to formulate this problem as a transportation model. so that we can determine the optimum production levels and means of production for the next 4 quarter periods. He has given 4 periods, 4 quarter periods. Quarter means 3 months. There are 4 quarter periods in a year. Okay, since he has given 4, it is each period is of 3 months duration. The company has a constant workforce and wishes to meet all the demand with no back orders. Okay, means the company is having constant workforce and wishes to meet all the demands within time without any back orders. Back orders is nothing but if you order the product today, if you get that today itself, that means you are meeting the demands as usual. If you are getting the product after 6 months or 8 months, that is called back order, because you are giving the order today and you are getting the product after 6 or 8 months as a customer. That is called back orders. But company is not having any back orders. They are meeting the demands within the time itself. Okay, allocation of the product capacity to satisfy the demand at the minimum cost. Transportation model is a technique. Is a technique which is followed in the aggregate planning so that the demand can be met at the minimum cost. Okay, in transportation model we prepare a table which consists of all supply and demand quantities. What he has given, there are 4 periods, demand units for 4 different periods, and here in this table we are having capacity units. Unused means which are stored in which are not utilized, whether it may be regular time, whether it may be overtime, whether it may be subcontracting, and the total available. Okay, we know that he has given some initial inventory. What is the initial inventory? He has given 20 at the beginning of the first period. Here in this small box we are going to write the cost for each thing. Okay, since what he has given in the problem, inventory carrying cost per unit per period is ₹2. Since it is the beginning of the period 1, the inventory cost is here 0. If we carry these 20 products to the next month, if we not utilized them if we not supplied them in the period 1 and in the warehouse, they carried to the second month, the inventory cost increases by ₹2 because per unit there are 20 units. Okay, because inventory carrying cost per unit per period is given as ₹2, and if they are not utilized even in the second period and if they carry to the third period, the inventory cost increases by again ₹2 and it becomes 4, and if they are carried to the period 4 again, the inventory cost increases by again ₹2, it becomes 6. Okay, unused cost is 0 anyhow. Total available initial inventory is 20. Okay, similarly he has given the supply capacity of the company. We need to put this in this table. For period 1 regular is 60, overtime is 18, through subcontracting we can produce 1000. Similarly for period 2 it is 50, 15 and 1000. For the period 3 it is 60, 18 and 1000. For the period 4 it is 65, 20 and 1000. And he has given the demand of the product. Here you can see in the table 100, 50, 70 and 80. In the last column here we need to substitute the demand. For the first period it is 100, 50, 70 and 105. Okay, now for the period 1 he has given the demand is See, for the period 1, the demand for a product is 100, but already 20 products are available in the inventory. As a initial inventory means the 20 products are already available in the warehouse. We utilized them. Okay. Remaining 80 products are to be manufactured in the period 1 to meet the demand of 100. Go through the cost. If you produce a product by using regular time, it costs 100 rupees. If it is overtime, it costs 125 rupees. If you are going to give the subcontract, it costs 130 rupees. Okay. And the cost increases by 2 rupees as an inventory cost if we carry that product as an inventory. See here, 100, 102, 104 and 106, 125, 127, 129 and 131. Subcontracting, we have not put any values here because subcontracting doesn't comes under inventory, because we are giving subcontracting to the other companies. We are not storing that products in our inventory as an in warehouse. Therefore, I just increase the value of the product manufacturing only in regular time and overtime from 100 to 102, 104 and 106. Not in the subcontract, because it doesn't comes under inventory. Subcontracting doesn't comes under inventory. Okay. See, in the period 1, the least cost for one manufacture of 1 unit is regular time, because it costs 100 rupees. In overtime it costs 125 rupees, and in subcontracting it costs 130 rupees. Since the regular time cost is very less, we produce most of the products in the regular time only. But we can't produce all the 80 products which are required in the regular time itself, because the maximum capacity that we can produce, the maximum products that we can produce in the regular time using our workforce, using the company's workforce is 60. Although the cost is less, it is difficult to produce all the 80 products, because in the problem itself he has given the maximum supply capacity of the company using regular time is 60. Therefore, we try to meet our demands in the regular time, and which is 60. 60 inventory available is 20. The remaining products were 20. 100 minus 20 minus 60, it becomes 20, because we already completed the 80 products. We met the demand. Out of 100 we already met 80 demands. Remaining products to be manufactured in the period 1 were 20. You can see in the overtime it is 125, in the subcontracting it is 130, the cost per unit. Therefore, we will go for overtime. What is the maximum capacity that can be met through overtime? It is 18. 60 plus 20, 80, 80 plus 18, it is 98. What is the remaining units to be manufactured? 2. It is difficult to produce in the company. We need to give subcontracting, although the cost is more, because we are not using here the back orders. We are meeting the demands in the same period itself. In the problem he has given with no back orders, you can see here. Therefore, at any cost we need to give the subcontracting of 2 products. Okay, here unused, we utilized completely the regular time. We produce the maximum capacity which can be manufactured, and in the overtime it is 18, we completely utilized. Subcontracting available is 1000, but we produced only 2 products by giving subcontracting, and the unused is 998. Okay, that's it for the period 1. See, this is for period 2. Therefore, this column we not filled anything because we will directly move to the period 2 year. The cost of manufacturing is given in the problem itself. For regular time it is 100, overtime is 125, subcontracting is 130, and it increases. The inventory increases as we move from period 2 to period 3, period 3 to period 4. 100, 102, 104, 125, 127 and 129. Subcontracting doesn't comes under inventory. The demand is 50 for the second period, but we can produce in the second period by using regular time 50, by using overtime it is 15, by subcontracting it is 1000. Okay. Now, since here the minimum cost is 100 which comes under regular time, and 50 products can be manufactured using in the regular time itself, and the required demand is also 50, we produce all the products in the regular time itself. Okay, we have not utilized the overtime and subcontracting in the period 2 because our demand is met through in the regular time itself. We are meeting our demands in the regular time itself. There is no necessity of using overtime and subcontracting. Okay, now move to the period 3. Here the demand is 70. The demand is 70. And we can produce 60 products using regular time and 18 products through overtime. But we total 78 products we can manufacture in our company itself without giving subcontracting. And the required demand is only 70. Therefore, go through the cost. It is 100, 125, 130. And we have not utilized the overtime and subcontracting of the period 2. If we produce these products in the overtime of period 2, it costs 127 because the inventory cost increases from 125 to 127. But the overtime duty of period 3 is already available at 125. There is no need of utilizing the overtime of period 2 and storing them as an inventory and utilizing them in the period 3, because the cost of overtime in the period 3 is lesser than the cost of overtime in the period 2, which is around 127, 125 plus inventory cost of 2 rupees. Therefore, we are going to produce all the products which were required in the period 3. In the period 3 itself, we can produce 60 products in the regular time, and we produced 10 products. Actually, the available capacity is 18 for overtime in the period 3, but our requirement is just 10 products, and we are producing 10 products utilizing the overtime of the period 3 at a cost of 125. Okay, our demand is met in the period 3 also. Now we are shifting to period 4. See here, what is the demand? 105. No inventory is available now. Now go through the cost. We have not utilized the overtime of period 2. If we produce some products in the period 2 and we store them for the period 4, because in the period 3 also it is not required. It costs 129 rupees, 125 rupees production cost plus 4 rupees inventory cost. But already in the period 4 we can produce the products at an in the regular time we can produce the products at rupees 100, and in overtime we can produce the products at 125. And also in the period 3 we can produce extra 8 products because the capacity is 18, but we produced only 10. If we produce 8 more products and we store them for the period 4, 125 plus 2, it costs 127. But in the overtime, cost of period 4 is 125. Therefore, we allot the products first in the period 4 itself. We can produce 65 units at a cost of 100 rupees, and then in the regular time, and then in the overtime we can produce 20 products at the cost of 125. Total products manufactured were 85, but our demand is 105. Remaining 20 products are to be manufactured. But if we give them the subcontract, it costs 130 rupees. Instead of that, we produce, you can see here 127, which is less than 130. Since here the demand is 10, we produce only 10 products and the capacity is 18 products, we produced remaining 8 products. We produced 18 products, but we utilized only 10 products. We stored them as inventory. 125 plus 2, it costed 127 rupees to produce these 8 products, which is lesser than 130. Okay. Now 65 plus 20 plus 8 is 93. Remaining 12 products were there. If we give them the subcontract, it costs 130 rupees. But if we utilize the overtime of period 2, because in the period 2 we have not produced any products, there is no need because all the demand is met during regular time itself. Therefore we can produce 12 products in the period 2 and we can store them as an inventory for the period 4. 125 plus 4 rupees, it costed 129 rupees to produce these 12 products, but here the subcontracting cost is 130 rupees. Instead of giving subcontracting, we can produce 12 products as a overtime in the period 2 and we can store them for the period 4, which costed 129 rupees per unit. Therefore 65 plus 20 plus 12 plus 8 is 105. Okay. Here you can see 3. Why I have written 3? Because the capacity available for the period 2 in the overtime is 15. We produced 12 products in the period 2 and we stored them as an inventory for the period 4. The capacity unused is 3. Here 10 plus 8, 18. We completely utilized the capacity. In the period 2, period 3, period 4, we not utilized the subcontracting. We utilized only the overtime and regular duties. Only in the period 1 we subcontracted the products. Therefore the remaining unused capacity is 998 in the period 1. Okay. Now unused is 1000 plus 1000 plus 1000 plus 3 plus 998, it becomes 4001. 4001 plus this demand becomes equals to 4326, and in the right side also it should become the same. If you are going to add this 20, 60, 18, 1000, 50, 15, it becomes 4326. This is the transportation model table where we assigned the products and we manufactured the products and we meet the demand at minimum cost. This is all about transportation model. The next problem is, a firm has developed the following demand forecast in units for an item which is influenced by seasonal factor. Okay, a firm, a organization forecasted the demand in units, in numbers, for an item which is influenced by seasonal factors. Means the demand for a particular product varies with months. For the month of January it is 27, for the month of February it is 220, for the month of March it is 470, for the month of April it is 670, for the month of May it is 450, for the month of June is 270, for the month of July it is 200, for the month of August it is 370. Okay, this is the variation in the demand for a particular product. Now suppose the firm estimates that it estimates some things. The organization estimates that the costs are rupees 150 per unit to increase the production rate. Since it is a seasonal variation, and since if the production rates increased, means for the month of January, for example, the capacity of the company is 200. In the January month 270 products were required. If the production rate of the company is increased from 200 to 270, the cost of each product increases by rupees 150. Similarly, due to the decrease in the demand, if the production rate is decreased, it costs rupees 200. By changing the workforce, how this can be done? This increase in the production rate or decrease in the production rate is always done by varying the workforce. If they varied the workforce, the workers available to increase or decrease the production rate, it costs 150 rupees to increase the production rate, and it costs rupees 200 per unit to decrease the production rate. Similarly, if they produce the products in some month when the demand is less, and if they store the products in the warehouse and if they utilized in the next month, the inventory costs per quarter per product is rupees 50. And if any number of products is subcontracted to meet the demand, it costs rupees 100 for every product manufactured. That means we are having three options to meet the demand. The first one is varying the workforce, the second one is producing more products when the demand is less and use them as the inventory, and the third one is by giving subcontracting to the other companies. I already discussed the three strategies through which the aggregate planning, through which the demand can be met in aggregate planning: varying the workforce, varying the inventory, and utilizing the inventory, and by giving subcontracts. These are the different strategies which was followed depending on the cost in aggregate planning. We need to compare all these three pure strategies. Which one is the best? Okay. In the problem he has given the demands for different months. First, we need to determine the cost of all the three plans, and we need to come to the conclusion which plan is the best. The first one is varying the workforce. For the month of January, 270 products, the demand is 270 products. Okay, it doesn't cost anything. For the month of second month, that means for the February, the demand decreased from 270 to 220. What is the decrease in demand? It is 50. What is the cost of decreasing in the production rate given? It is 200 per product. There is a decrease in 50 products. 50 into 200, it becomes 10,000. Okay, for the month of March, the demand increased from 220 to 470. By varying the workforce, if this increase in the demand is met, it costs 150 rupees extra per product. That is what given. By varying the workforce, if the production rate is increased, it costs 150 rupees extra per unit. Therefore, the cost of increase in the production rate, because it is increased from 220 to 470. Therefore, cost of increase in the production rate is 250 into 150, it is 37,500. Similarly, wherever the demand is increased, multiply it by 150 and calculate the cost of increase in the production rate. Wherever the demand is decreased, multiply it by 200 and determine the cost of decrease in the production rate. It increased from 470 to 670, therefore 200 into 150, it is 30,000. Again it is decreased from 670 to 450. The decrease in the production rate is 220. 220 into 200 is 44,000. Similarly, 150 into 200 is 36,000. 70 into 200 is 14,000. Again it is increased from 200 to 370. 170, there is an increase in the production rate of 170. 170 into 150 is 22,500. Now sum up. Add all the total cost which was increased due to the increase in the production rate and decrease in the production rate. The total cost was 1,97,000. Means if we varied the workforce, the cost of production rate increases by 1,97,000 in the plan 1. Okay, in the plan 2, carrying inventory. Okay, now the total number of products required was 270 plus 290 plus in the second one is carrying inventory. 270, 220, 470, 670, 450. If we add all these values, we will get 2,920. Means for period of 8 months, we require 2,920 products. In carrying inventory, first we need to divide this 2,920 by the total number of periods. Total number of periods were 8. Therefore, 2,920 divided by 8 is 365. First, we plan that we produce 365 products every month so that the remaining products can be carried for the next month. Now, if we produce the 365 products in the first month, in the each month, then the cumulative production will be 365 plus 365, it is 730. 730 plus 365 is 1095 plus 365. Add 365 products in each month. Finally, at the end of 8th month, we will meet 2,920 products. Okay, what is the demand for the cumulative demand is also calculated in the same way. For the first month it is 270, for the second month it becomes 490, 270 plus 220. Therefore the cumulative demand becomes, for the second month is 490, for the third month it is again 960 by adding 470 to the 490. Now, and similarly we calculated cumulative production also. Now subtract this cumulative production with the cumulative demand. Means 365 products we manufactured in the first month, but the available demand is 270. That means 95 products are available as an inventory. For the second month is 730 minus 490. 240 products are available as an inventory. In the third month, 1095 minus 960. 135 products are available in the inventory. If we produce 365 products more, the cumulative production available is 1460, but the cumulative demand is 1630. Therefore, we are having a deficit amount of minus 170 products in our inventory. In the fifth month, we are having a deficit. We are having a deficit products of minus 255. In the month of 6, we are having a deficit amount of minus 160. And again in the month of 7, we are having extra products of 7, and at the end of 8th month we are having 0 products in the inventory. What is the maximum deficit that we are having here? Minus 255. That means if we produce 365 products every month, at the end of 5th month we are unable to meet the demand. The maximum deficit products, maximum unavailable products were minus 255. Therefore, we produce this minus 255 products in the beginning month itself. That means instead of producing 365, we produce 255 extra products. 365 plus 255 is 370, 420, it is 620. If 620 products were manufactured in the beginning month itself, in the month of January itself, but the demand is 270, the inventory available becomes 350. Okay, we produce 255 products extra in the month of January itself, so that we can meet our demand. Okay, 255 plus 95, 350. 250 plus 240 is 495 products were available as an inventory. Okay, 255 plus 135 is 390. You can see here we are having a deficit of 170 products are not available. We are unable to manufacture in the, therefore minus 170 plus 255 becomes 85, means at the end of 4th month 85 products are available in the inventory if we produced 255 products earlier in the month of January itself, extra products. Okay, at the end of 5th month 0 inventory is available. Minus 255 plus 255 becomes 0. Minus 255 plus 160, it becomes 95. Minus 255, 5 minus okay, minus 160 plus 255, 95. Plus 5 plus 255, it is 260. Plus 0 plus 255, it is 255. Means at the end of 8th month, 255 products will be more available. Because we produced 255 products more in the month of January itself, which is more than the required. Therefore, at the end of 8th month, 255 products were left after meeting all the demands. Now we need to calculate the cost of inventory. He has given for each product that you manufacture extra, it costs 50 rupees to store them in the warehouse. What is the more number of products available in the month of January? It is 250, 350. 350 into 50, 17,500. Similarly, calculate the inventory cost for each month, multiplying 50 by the inventory which is available, and sum up. The inventory cost is 96,500. In the plan 2, if we follow the carrying inventory plan, the extra cost will be around 96,500. Okay. Similarly, in the month of the 3rd plan, which is subcontracting. Okay. In subcontracting, see, first go through the demand for the months. 270, 220, 470, 670, 450, 270, 200, 300, which is the minimum value, the minimum demand available. In the 7th month, the minimum demand is available, which is equal to 200. In subcontracting, he assumes that company is able to produce 200 products which is the minimum for each month, and we will give subcontracting of the remaining quantities. 270 minus 200 is 70, 220 minus 200 is 20, 470 minus 200 is 270, 670 minus 200 is 470, 450 minus 200 is 250. Okay, and in the problem he has given for subcontracting of each product it costs 100 rupees. 70 into 100 is 7000, 20 into 100 is 2000, 270 into 100 is 27,000, 47,000, 25,000, 7,000 and 17,000. If you are going to add all the costs, it costs around 1,32,000. Now you can compare all the three plans. In the plan 1 is 1,97,000, in the plan 2 it is 96,500, in the plan 3 it is 1,32,000. You can compare now. Means carrying inventory is the best option, which costs around 96,500. The extra cost to meet the demand is 96,500, and the plan 2 we can say, because it is having the minimum cost, we can say that plan 2 is the best option to fulfill the demand. That's all for today. We will discuss in the next class the remaining problems. Thank you.